Hi, everybody. It is time for a rain update coming up on 11:30 on the Sunday morning. Most of us are already starting to see the rain fall, and I updated my weather site, portlandweather.com, around 9 this morning to basically state that as we approach the noon hour, rain would become steady across the entire region. And if anything, pick up during the afternoon in terms of intensity. So the remainder of today into tonight looks to be steady rain here on the west side of the Cascades. Hey, so we're going to break down the latest on when we're going to see the heaviest rain amounts, what the wind threat is, and when this run of what's basically 4 days of very rainy weather, maybe five, starts to get out of here, if you will. Okay, so what you're looking at right now is what we call precipitable water, and this is a satellite imagery product. And where you see the red colors down here along the equator, if you watch my mouse cursor, that's the tropical moisture belt. That's kind of always sitting down there. So you can find us right here on the map where my cursor is, and see this little wave of the green and kind of yellowish gold color. See how this is swinging up into us? Remember, we have a big upper level low, which is setting, actually, you can see the low kind of curling up right in here, and that's pulling up this fetch of moisture. Now, some people have been using the term atmospheric river, which I suppose technically is not incorrect. Anytime you deal with an elongated fetch of moisture coming in, you can throw out that term atmospheric river. To me, this is more a big upper level low. It's just kind of wrapping up and pulling this moisture in. I'm shying away from atmospheric river because to me, that term, I want to use that term when we have a flooding rain threat. You know, when we're talking 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of rain or more in the coast range and river flooding, and the amount of rain is going to absolutely be a problem. That's not the case this time. Yeah, there's an elongated fetch of moisture, but it's more of a big upper level low. It's kind of swirling all this in. So it's always interesting. Anytime you're forecasting an inch of rain or more for an episode, you do want to check this precipitable water for the rain potential. And you can definitely see we are in the main rain belt fetch. Okay, let me scroll up and show you the latest radar imagery. So we've got light rain up through Portland. Let me, I think that hasn't refreshed. Let me see here. Yeah, see the green? So that's some decent rain now moving up through Portland, moving up through Vancouver in the Salmon Creek area. Down here in yellow, you've got a heavier rain area and radar now showing up into Salem. The light blue shades, for the most part, are just a lowering cloud base where the radar is actually picking up some moisture droplets in the clouds, but down low, we're just getting sprinkles. But at any rate, you can tell this is a solid push of rain that's now moving inland and pushing up to the north. And if you look at the regional radar composite that includes the Medford radar, the rain is pretty solid all the way down to the California border. I want to scroll down. Again, this is the imagery page on my weather site, portlandweather.com. And this is the 500 millibar. Let me go ahead and make this bigger. This is the 500 millibar contours. So here's the low developing and then digging down to the south. Here's a second upper level low up here. So clearly on the imagery right in here is the storm. And all this is what's going to be swinging in. And we're going to see an initial low actually weaken and drop to the north, while a reinforcing low, which is this guy up here, is going to start dropping in as well. And the main front that kind of swings the back door of this through right now is timing out to be Wednesday morning, Tuesday overnight, early Wednesday morning. So we're keeping an eye on all of that. Now, how much rain are we talking about? $1 million question, right? Let's go to what they call the WRF, the latest model from the NOAA, the INSEP, we call it. And you can see office, that is. So let me move my face a little bit so I can toggle you through this. This is this afternoon at 4 p.m. This is showing rain amounts, mainly 1/10 of an inch or a little bit more through the afternoon hours. But notice how we get more into the colorful weather into tomorrow morning. So just from what falls today through tomorrow morning early, this shows over an inch of rain along the central coast, 1.17, Astoria 55 and hundredths, the North Bend Coos area 1.67. It gives more like 4/10 of an inch of rain out in the West Gorge. And if you scroll down and look at, see how Portland and Salem are kind of in a mix of this blue and yellow. I mean, that's a good 1/2 of an inch of rain or more just from what's falling now into tomorrow morning. Okay, now let me go ahead and toggle this. This is a high resolution model, so it's not going to go too terribly far. I think it goes into Tuesday. Let me back it up. Goes into Tuesday morning. Yeah. So by Tuesday morning, all total, now we've got, where you see these yellow spots showing up in the Cascades and the Coast Range, that's well over an inch to as much as 2 and even 3 inches of rain when you get up in topography. We've got the 1.5 inches in Astoria, the 1.71 in Newport, and still not incredibly impressive amounts in the Willamette Valley. But again, on average, kind of pushing a half to 3/4 of an inch of rain. I do believe these numbers are still being underplayed a little bit. Now, on top of that, and that's just through Tuesday morning, there's the heaviest rain coming in Tuesday night, Wednesday, which I'm going to show you in a moment. On top of that, we are looking at some wind. So what's the potential wind gusts? This is this afternoon, and this is increased. This shows when you get out to sea and you've got nothing blocking the wind. You don't have any hills, you don't have any mountains, just the plain wind field in the atmosphere above the surface. You've got 50-knot winds racing, or 50-mile-per-hour winds racing. You got the potential this afternoon for 24 to 31-mile-per-hour winds from the south-southwest racing up the Willamette Valley. If anything, these amounts probably a little overdone because the wind's going to be blocked somewhat by the Coast Range. But, I play this through the night into tomorrow morning, and this is increased since I looked at this morning. It gives us at least the chance for some 30 to 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts overnight tonight into tomorrow morning up and down I-5. I would say, I'm not sure that's going to happen, but certainly a possibility. And again, you get just out to see where gale warnings are up, and you got 50-knot winds plus blowing. Let me just continue this. Again, here's tomorrow afternoon, winds die down a little bit, kind of like 25-mile-per-hour winds in the blue areas of the Willamette Valley where you see my cursor. And then we played into Tuesday morning. I think you're going to see the winds increase a little bit. Yeah, this is Tuesday morning. Now we're back up to about 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts. 37, 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts in the green areas along the coast. Again, all of this is noticeable, but it's not enough for any wind watches, warnings, or advisories. So I still think that's a big headline. Not enough wind for advisories, not enough rain for flooding. Now, with that said, if we get into a fairly lengthy stretch where the National Weather Service believes we're going to have 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts and maybe pop a 45, they may elect to put out a wind advisory just because we haven't seen anything like that, since last winter season. And sticking on wind, I want to get you to the marine forecast from the National Weather Service. So this shows, and this is just good old-fashioned text bulletin. So tomorrow, Monday, combined seas 16 feet, winds gusting to 35 knots. You get to Tuesday, combined seas now 18 feet. So that's impressive storm watching, right? And you've got 40-knot winds. So again, if you're wondering about going to the coast, doing a little storm watching, okay, that's what you've got going on there. Now, I do want to back up and break down the weather flow for you a little bit. Let me see if I can make this a little better. Present. All right, here we go. Thank you very much. All right, so what have we got going here? This is tomorrow afternoon. There's that surface low. This is the American GFS model. Everything shaded in green are the moisture belts that I started off basically by showing you to some degree. So basically, we're just getting the wraparound moisture. Here's the big low. It's pulling and wrapping moisture belts up around it. So again, this is steady rain for the most part, the rest of today, overnight tonight, through the day tomorrow, everything we talked about. If you jump to Tuesday, 4 p.m., there's a front that's sitting offshore. This front comes in Tuesday night. And I think it's this front and a little disturbance impulse in the upper atmosphere that will combine to give us the highest threat of any 40, 45-mile-per-hour wind gusts over any lengthy period of time and give us the most intense, heaviest rain rates out of the entire episode. So the rock and roll period, like I like to say, the heaviest rain, the gustiest winds, setting up for Tuesday evening, overnight into early Wednesday morning through like maybe 6, 7, or 8 in the morning. Okay. And that's when this front comes through. Now, once this kicks through, look at Wednesday's map here. So go back to Monday. Notice the big low, left cursor. Here's what's a weak low now up to our north Wednesday. What was this front Tuesday, 4 p.m. is now over here pushing into Wyoming and Montana. So clearly Wednesday morning into the afternoon is the transition at the main rain machine that is now starting to pick up. Will move out of here. And once we get into Wednesday afternoon, the biggest threat for heavy rain over, the biggest threat for gusty winds over. And we'll actually start getting into more of a showery weather pattern. Now, see this moisture back here to the west? there's another pull of moisture that's going to come in Thursday. So when I show you the 7-day, we're still going to see occasional rain on Thursday. It's just kind of a secondary system that comes in on the heels of this. And I still have showers on Friday. So we're not going to be totally dry until it looks like right now, getting into the upcoming weekend. All right. We did touch on this the other day, so might as well touch on it again. This is the Mount Hood snow level forecast. Overnight tonight, tomorrow, 8,000 feet. That's rain at Timberline Lodge, rain over all the mountain passes. I still don't see any mountain travel pass issues. I've got Tuesday snow level on average. Now, it could be lower at times, but on average, Tuesday, 6,500 feet. On average, Wednesday, 6,000 feet. On average, Thursday, 6,000 feet. There are some models that bring the snow level Wednesday morning and even into Thursday morning at times down to 5,000 feet. So it's at least possible that somewhere in there we'd have some sticking snow at Timberline Lodge. I mean, just kind of more of a talker if it happens than anything. And by the way, let me give a big shout out to Hillcrest. They're that great, and they're a pretty large shop. They have a lot of clothes. They rent boards, they sell boards, skis. Again, all the clothing you need. It's in Gresham, right on the way to Mount Hood off of 26 there. So they sponsor my Mount Hood snow level forecast as we get going into the winter. So I thank them for sponsoring my work. But that's what we're looking at for the Mount Hood snow forecast. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of bouncing around here a little bit. All right, back to this. This is my latest 7-day numbers. Rainy afternoon, check that off. That's already starting to happen, even quicker than what I was thinking. 65. Tomorrow, rainy day. Notice the temps don't move much. Upper 50s to mid 60s during the day. Tuesday, same thing. Maybe 56, 66 for a high. Again, the strongest wind threat overall, the highest rain rates overall in terms of why you really hear it outdoors is that Tuesday evening into Wednesday morning. You notice Wednesday, rain breaks to showers. Everything breaks up, calms down. Still rain at times Thursday, sun and showers on Friday. And right now, next weekend, the modeling is starting to come together and saying, hey, it's going to be dry. So I've got fog to sun next Saturday, and I show clear skies and 72 on that following Sunday. So that, my friends, would be really, really nice, wouldn't it? By the way, big shout out to Hazeldale Tire Pros. They sponsor my 7-day up here in the Vancouver area. And a reminder, you can go to my weather site, portlandweather.com. If you scroll down, you get my worded forecast to go with this. So, for example, let's jump to Tuesday night. The heaviest rain of the week is expected with gusty south winds, 15 to 40 miles per hour as a surface front arrives, what we talked about. Wednesday, heavy rain and gusty winds early morning. Look for easing winds and occasional rain or showers during the day. 24-hour rainfall ending early morning may reach an inch. And the total rain for the valley, remember, is not huge from Sunday night through Wednesday. We're talking over 2 inches potentially. And then if you get, and then after that, things really start to calm down. And there's that Saturday morning fog, low clouds becoming partly cloudy during the day for dry weather. And then right now, Sunday looks to be great as well. All right. We'll see how much rain we get, and we'll see if the winds ever get strong enough to where the Weather Service decides to put up a wind advisory. For now, I'm meteorologist Rod Hill. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, please do so on my YouTube channel. Helps me out. And I thank you for taking the time to listen to my forecast.